Hi guys, welcome to this video. In this video I will speak about what are dating red flags. I will give you a complete dating red flags checklist, and I will also talk a little bit about the dating site red flags on this video. But before I do, and before I begin, please give this some thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and smash that bell notification so that I can notify you whenever I upload new videos here on YouTube. Now, you might be asking yourself, what are dating red flags and why should they matter to me? Well, they should matter to you because you need to be on the lookout for them. They are especially essential to look for if you are speed dating, or if you're on a blind date, or if you're on any other kind of a first date. So I will talk about some common things that should raise your red flags right now. And they are basically things you need to watch out for when you meet someone for the first time, or if you're meeting that person for the first time in person. You don't really get to know someone unless you meet them in person now, do you? Let me begin with the most common red flag there is. Because most times we tend to forget the red flags that we should have spotted at first, just because we want to give the other person the benefit of a doubt and hope that we are wrong. Unfortunately, most of the times, our first notion is the right one. One of the most common dating red flags that is, and that should raise all your red flags, is lying. If you catch somebody lying to you, it might be tempting to give them the benefit of a doubt once. But as a fair warning to you, if you start doing it over and over again, you might continue to do it and you will rationalize it. And it's a hazardous habit, to say the least, since it might actually put you in dangerous situations. So for your own safety, I strongly advise you not to do it even once. You should always listen to the little voice inside of your head that is telling you that there is something wrong, and that is, honestly, my best advice to you. To avoid it from happening to you, you should follow some best practices that I will discuss in a while. No matter if you're a man or a woman, you should always tell a trusted friend or family member the following things: who you are going to meet, where this person lives, contact information to your date, schedule a call from the person that you tell this, so that if you haven't got in touch with that person, he or she will give you a call and check up on you and hear that everything is all right. Search online and see if that person is who he or she is claiming to be. If you have a profile name, you can use services like Rate to see that person's rating before you go and see that person in real life. And if you're on my blog, I have actually left a link there. If you're on my blog, I share some other best practices that you should follow as well. For your own safety, I decided to share a checklist on things you should be on the lookout for when you meet somebody for the first time and start dating. As I told you before in this video, watch out if he or she is lying to you and keep making lies to you and accuse you of having a bad memory. That's a certain red flag. He or she wants to spend a lot of time with you during late night hours. The person is jealous about things and expresses it. He or she always wants to know what you're doing at all hours of the day and insists that it is their right to know it, but they aren't as transparent with his or her whereabouts themselves. That's another red flag. The person does not respect your boundaries, the boundaries that you have set once yourself. He or she is extremely flaky. He or she is in a secret relationship with you. If they tell that, that's another red flag. If they tell you that. Bashing on his or her ex and blaming them for the failure of their past relationship. Now I will go into some more details here. So, because some bashing might be justified, but it's not just one person's fault when a relationship ends, in most cases. Not even if a person has cheated on the ex-partner. That's not always their fault, because, as I tell you in this video, it might be because you have done something to push that person into infidelity, actually. If you are dating someone who makes all the boxes on my red flags checklist that I shared a while ago ticked, you'd better run away quickly. Please do so for your own safety. That's just my best advice to you here. Now, since I talked a lot about lying before, I will not discuss it anymore in this video. However, I will share the other 7 tips with you right now. So, one of the dating red flags that I discussed in the past is that he or she isn't respecting your boundaries. You have set your boundaries once. They are making you feel safe, sound, and separates your private sphere from the public sphere when you are interacting with strangers. Everyone should respect your boundaries. If your date doesn't respect the boundaries you have set and continuously is trying to make you change them to fit his or her ideas, that is a definite red flag, because it's a matter of respect. If he or she isn't respecting your boundaries, then that person isn't respecting you or your right to privacy, period. It shouldn't be something you should have to change to fit somebody else's ideas and thoughts. If you're having trouble setting your boundaries straight, I have an article that I share on my blog that will help you. The second dating red flag I want to discuss here is that the person is extremely jealous and expresses it clearly. Another red flag is if you notice that the person is jealous to the extreme and isn't afraid of expressing it. Jealous behavior will show itself in a couple of ways, such as he or she is expressing that they wished they would spend more time with you and are jealous when you spend time with your friends or even children or family. The person expresses that he or she doesn't like that you have to work or do any other things that means that you are away from him or her. It can be a job trip. It can be a leisure trip with your friends. It doesn't matter if they express that concern or that they are pretending to be concerned about your well-being when you're away. That could be sweet, but if it's to the extreme and it's constantly the same thing over and over again, then you'd better run. And lastly, I want to say here that he or she is always questioning you and want to know all about your whereabouts and who you have met if you have spent time away from him or her. That's another one. If you spot any of all these flags, all your alarm bells should start to sound loud and clear in your head. And it's a real concern, so it should raise all of your red flags. Only want to spend a lot of time with you during late hours. That's another dating red flags, and it just means that you're basically that person's booty call. And that's the only reason why someone wants to spend a lot of time with you during late hours. The fourth red flag that you should look out is that he or she is flaky to the extreme. If he or she continually is making all those big plans with you but never shows up to fulfill your expectations, that's another red flag, ladies and gentlemen. A flaky person is an unreliable person. Remember that. It is the dating equivalent in real life of ghosting in online dating. A flaky person can't be trusted, and it can only mean two things if a person is making big plans and claims but never goes through with them. He or she is either a dishonest person who doesn't deserve your trust, or that person is cheating on his or her partner. No matter which option you think is the right one, you should be running out the door ASAP. Just leave before you have put yourself in a situation that is hard to get out from. Another red flag is if he or she calls your relationship a secret. That's another cause for alarm here. It might actually be one of the biggest dating red flags you will ever come across. As I told you above, it is not just one of the red flags, but also a sure sign of a dishonest person. You are someone he or she is sneaking with, and it's not the main relationship for that person. If you are concerned about it, I leave a link to it on my dating blog, where you can discover the signs that are typical of a cheater. Because in that article, you will discover the telltale signs of a cheater. Bashing on the ex is another dating red flag. Surely, we have all been going through bad relationships that ended unexpectedly and left us with a lot of emotions and feelings of hurt and so on. A little bit of criticism as well as some blame isn't necessarily a cause for raising a red flag on a date. However, there is a difference between this and bashing on the ex. If he or she is continually blaming and shaming their exes for the end of those relationships, all your red flags shall be waving right now. If a person says anything of the following, start waving those red flags. I wanted to, but he or she didn't. When I did this, my ex did that. All my dreams and hopes were crushed. My ex always did things I wasn't comfortable with, and it was hurtful to me. I only wished that I had been looking through my ex's phone. All of those sentences are cause for alarm, and all of them are dating red flags in their own right. There are a lot of other dating red flags as well. It is by no means every sentence that these people will use, but look at how the person behaves when he or she is mentioning the ex. It will help you determine whether the person is honest or not. If a person looks away or is flickering with their eyes, avoiding any direct eye contact with you, it might be a red flag. And then finally, I want to discuss a little bit about the 7th red flag, and it's when the person always wants to know your whereabouts but doesn't speak about his or her whereabouts. A person who has a freakish need for control will always want to know your whereabouts, always insists on spending time with you, but will be avoidant when speaking about his or her whereabouts. It is the last and final dating red flag that I wanted to share with you right here. And I will talk about some gender-specific dating red flags in the future. So stay tuned for those one. Subscribe so you'll make sure you never miss them, and smash that bell notification so that I can notify you when I upload those videos. And also, if you like this kind of content, give this video some thumbs up. So, what are the dating red flags to look out for if you meet your next date online? There are a set of different rules that applies then, compared to the checklist that I have shared in this video. And I have left a link to it in the article. There are a couple of other articles that I know you will appreciate as well on the same topic, and you will find that on my blog. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that was very informative for you. And if you did, you're more than welcome to click the share button and like this kind of content if you do and appreciate it. And I also want to invite you to join my newsletter, and you will find the link in the description below. That's everything for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video till the very end. This is Ricard signing off. See you in the next video. Bye.